My name is John Dixon. I'm the CEO of Draft FCB South Africa, and I'm delighted to be the jury president of this year's Bookmarks. We've had 70 judges this year. We took a conscious decision to expand the network of judges that we use, and I think that's in recognition of the fact that digital generally is becoming more and more complex, and we really wanted to have specialist judges in each of the categories.
I think during the Bookmarks judging I probably learned more than any other show I've ever judged, because you were judging with people who were so different in what they do. So there were a couple of us who came from sort of traditional creative idea-driven backgrounds, and then there were some serious tech guys in there who are amazing at that. And it was incredible for me how we could they could tell me things that I didn't know, and vice versa. And often we ended up with things that initially we might have thought were bad, and then we discussed it and we realized they were great, and vice versa. And you only get that when you get people from very different skill sets working together.
In round one, what's incredibly important to us is the integrity of the whole process. And the way we choose to do that is the entire process is handled remotely. So each judge judges the entries through a custom designed console against predetermined criteria without any influence on the outside. At the end of round one, those scores are totaled up, and the highest ranking entries are shortlisted automatically for round two. We're judging the shortlist today. Exactly as in round one, the judges sit with their console in front of them, and there's a discussion, a very serious discussion around the merits of each entry.
This year seems much more cohesive. There are obviously differences of opinion, but I think that our understanding of what good results are and our understanding of what good digital work is actually more sophisticated than it was.
The judges are taking this thing very seriously. To win a Bookmarks Award is a big deal. The level of conversation amongst the judges seems to reflect that.
We've had a lot of debates ad nauseum this afternoon to basically determine who, if any, are worthy of gold awards, silvers, and even bronze. And I think the beautiful thing about our discussions today is that we've been incredibly harsh, and we've critically analysed what has met business objectives. That has also included beautiful design and technological innovation.
Making sure that we were being very vigilant and not just getting worked up about pretty pictures or about great videos. Keeping ourselves very honest when it came to every single entry.
Once you start talking it through and you start applying rigorous thinking, not just rigorous criteria, to the entries, then you start bringing in that element of what the real world actually demands.
I think we need to be recognising work that delivers creatively and delivers against return on investment.
You can know instantly whether a campaign's been a success, what the click-through rates are, what the conversions are, to the absolute tiny detail. So obviously in the Bookmarks Awards, the results and the ROI, it literally counts as half the criteria. So you can have the most beautiful website in the world, but if it hasn't been effective, it's not going to win.
The great entries, it didn't stand out how many likes they had on Facebook. It was actually almost less about results online and more about results in the real world. They managed to generate so many sales of so many products. That was more interesting for me than just like, we got 100,000 likes. Because if you throw enough money at a problem, it's a sledgehammer effect. It's not that impressive. One of my favorite entries was a very simple entry where it said, we got paid X, we got Y in actual sign-ups, products sold. That for me it's actually, dare I say, sexy, because it's a real world result where we got something out of it.
It's not enough for it just to be, wow, that's a cool, great, sexy idea. It's like, what did it do? How did it happen? Did it really work? It's really exciting to see that, because it makes what we do measurable and accountable. And for me, that's how we grow our business and our industry, is by adding that value, is by coming up with ideas that have produced value for clients.
Some of the metrics that the people supplied were absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, some people, the growth they've seen over the past year has been absolutely phenomenal. So some people have done really exceptional work, specifically from brands now being publishers.
There are a couple of categories that I think have been really interesting. I think the microsites category, and the integrated work, there's some great stuff there. And I think in social media campaigns as well, there are some really, really interesting pieces of work.
So I've definitely seen a shift in the calibre of the work from last year to this year, in the calibre of the entries without a doubt. Interestingly for me, the bottom level is much better. So in general, the average work is much better, but I don't think that there are any more really great standout campaigns. I think those are as rare as they've ever been.
It's great to see the award entries increasing in terms of the numbers, but I think it's also very important for new entrants into award ceremonies to realize that it's not just about making a beautifully designed Facebook page anymore or creating a hashtag campaign. It really is all about integration.
So for me, it's a matter of it's not pushing the work out there. You know, there was some talk about things like CSS3 and parallax effects and things like that. Cool, you made it look pretty, but you didn't do anything particularly innovative.
We as South Africans are incredibly creative people, but we need to be cognizant of mediocrity, and unfortunately there is a whole bunch of mediocrity out there.
The traditional media, one of the things that they've done very successfully over the many dozens and hundreds of years they've been around, is to start to reward people for creative excellence and operational excellence, and to recognize and to say this is excellent and this is how you should do business, this is how you should conduct yourself in digital media, whether it's marketing, publishing. We know what's excellent in a newspaper. We're still not 100% sure what's excellent in a website, and we needed to learn that.
The challenges that I would put out to the industry is really to innovate and to be a pioneer within the space. Award ceremonies aren't about just doing the simple things right. It's about going above and beyond. It's about innovating. You really actually have to go and do something that no one else globally has done. That's what we want to do. We want to encourage people being the best of the best within this industry.
You see a lot of stuff and a lot of it isn't good, and then there's things that jump through that are just so amazing that they blow you away, and they really they make that whole day of judging worthwhile when you see those few real gems.
When I was looking at the skill sets that were represented, I didn't see any huge gaps, and for one very specific reason. The advantage that you have in South Africa, and having such a feisty and a raw voice and a thriving set of views and opinions that are expressed through digital, I think it's actually easier for the editors to become much more proficient in digital across the different platforms. In terms of the creativity of the people and the editorial direction and the proficiency in digital, you need to do everything.
The challenge for clients is that a lot of what we're doing in the online space in South Africa is new. It's pioneering space, and I think that sometimes clients feel a little bit threatened because they don't necessarily have all of the understanding, the know-how, or the knowledge that a lot of the digital agencies in South Africa have. And that's fine, because a lot of what we're learning is based on trial and error. There's a motto that I personally live by, and I think it's something that more and more clients should embrace wholeheartedly. Life is short, play naked.